All right, so I've actually put quite a lot of time into Mario Tennis Fever already. I believe I've already played more of it online than I ever did with Aces. So, like, my feeling on this at this point is that because of the online mode and because of how it works, the game has unlimited replay value. It is endlessly replayable. You're always going to be playing against high skilled players. You're always going to be getting better. You're always going to be improving your skill set. So the game really, at its core, has like unlimited content. Honestly, like anybody who sit there like complaining about like the single player campaign being a tutorial or for like not having enough of it, I think you're kind of missing the point. Is that no AI is ever going to be as fun as going up against another human being. So because of the online features, this game is phenomenal, and like I do think that's like the primary difference between people who are really in love with the game versus people who don't care for it. It depends on how much you've been playing online. Because I feel like most people like have been playing the adventure mode or like the tournaments. I went straight into online mode, and I struggled like a little bit, but now I'm like in the top 500. I think I'll have to check. As new players come in, I think your ranking changes based on that. But like, yeah, I was in the top 500 at one point. Worldwide, and I'm playing this game. I'm going up against all these players, all these different characters, all these different rackets. Going up against all these different strategies and play styles, and like it's very very interesting to see just how much strategy and depth there is to this game. That isn't immediately apparent if you play like single player or if you play like maybe an hour or so online. Okay, like if you don't play a lot of the online play, you're not going to notice like some of the crazy strategies. You're not going to learn all the things you can do. You're not going to learn the ins and outs. You're not going to learn the strengths and weaknesses of characters. You're not going to learn like how technically demanding the game is, right? So again, the game is fantastically made. It's well produced, and the narrative right now is that like, well, it doesn't have enough single player content. Like, to me, this is like nothing but a giant cone. From people who don't really understand the appeal of sports games, what people are actually looking for, and what is actually going to keep people coming back. Because the thing that interested me about the online modes for this is that you do have the gimmicky. This is actually a really good example of like why people like Abzuda Dula or whatever his name was, like, don't know what they're talking about. So, like, the interesting thing about the online mode is that, like, you have the standard Fever gameplay, which is, like, Mario Tennis with the gimmicks and the crazy moves and, like, the shadow clones and the fire bars and, like, the crazy returns and stuff like that. You have standard Fever play. And then you have, like, regular play, regular tennis with Mario characters. So, like, that's the crazy thing about this, okay? Is that you have the crazy out there cartoonish wild Mario Tennis with the Fever mode, and then you have the standard tennis mode. Both of which play radically different. And then, of course, you have, like, the doubles feature on top of that. So, what this means, essentially, is that you have, like, 4 different online modes, 4 different ranking systems, all of which, like, play radically differently, require different strategies, different gameplay mechanics, and just has like an insane amount of technical depth. Okay, I spent the past day like primarily playing Fever singles, right? I got to the top 500, and I'm just kind of like, okay, let's go to standard play and see how that is. So, I play standard. I play the same character with standard play, and it really struck me immediately how different the game handles when you're not using Fever rackets, okay? Because the game is completely different when you don't have the gimmicks. Because with the gimmicks, you have to like play in certain ways. You have to take things into consideration. You have to like think about how what crazy things can happen at any time. You have to think about like your mechanics and like the enemy's mechanics. You have to think about like what's going on. In standard play, it's just straightforward tennis, and after playing so much Fever, I found it so refreshing and so much fun. Focusing entirely on, like, standard tennis play, standard mechanics, standard strategies, and, like, it feels like a radically different game. Like, there are completely different niches in this game that appeal to different people, or maybe, you know, just for like a breather if you're like me and like have obsessively been playing Fever. Like, this game has a lot to offer for players, essentially. Like, it's crazy how much mileage you can get out of playing online in this sense. Like, it's probably my favorite online Switch 2 game so far, honestly. Like, I think I like it a lot more than Mario Kart. Well, this is my personal preference. I'm not saying it's better, but like, you know, for me personally, I feel like the strategy, the skill development, like the technical complexity of it, like, it feels like the game has a lot to offer in that regard. And like, I feel as if most people who are being critical of this game, like, haven't played enough of it. Like, I feel like if you don't play this game for like, you know, several hours, you'll never ever pick up on like how technically complex it actually is. Like, if you play the adventure mode, you're just gonna beat it and then like sneer at it and then try and say like, oh, that's it, oh, like, it's so lazy, oh, Nintendo, oh, Camelot, oh, like, you're not really going to like understand what this game really truly offers and like why exactly you should keep playing it. And I think this is becoming a bit of a problem when it comes to like a lot of these games with online features, is that like you keep seeing people do this thing like, well, why should I keep playing it? Like, I beat the single player mode. I'm just like, because it's fun. You know, don't you want to get better? Don't you want to play other people? And like, I feel like people are just really stuck in this mindset that like online is just something that you do after like an extensive single player campaign, or like online is something for tryhards, or like, you know, online is just like, it's like extra content and not part of the main game. Because like, it's just weird to me, you know, seeing how much fun I'm having with the online mode and seeing people in like their reviews like completely try and write it off, completely try and like say that like this thing doesn't matter, that it's not competitive, that like it doesn't, that nobody's gonna play this, that like it's just complete slop. And to me, it's like, who do you think you're trying to fool? Like it feels like to me that the people criticizing this are like general Nintendo YouTubers who are complaining about Mario sports games being about sports, while like actual sports fans, you know, people who actually like play games like this, are having a blast with it. You know, there's this huge discrepancy between people like that, honestly. Like, people are getting upset about this game not having an extensive adventure single-player RPG mode, while, like, people like me are having a blast with, like, what it does well. You know what I mean? It's like, again, it feels like people are criticizing this game for being about tennis. And considering this is a tennis game, like, you really do need to think about your priorities and think about, like, what you want going forward. Because, like, if you truly, genuinely hate tennis and want nothing to do with it, like, why are you playing a tennis game? Like, just because it has Mario in it? Like, you know, I remember when I was growing up, you know, and I would see, like, Mario sports games, I wouldn't pick them up because I knew that I wouldn't enjoy them. And I feel like, you know, 5-year-old me has more mental maturity and, like, observation skills than, like, many of these grown adult YouTubers, okay? Like, if you're not going to enjoy a Mario tennis game, if you're not willing to play tennis, a lot of tennis, like, with other people, then, like, why exactly are you picking this up? Like, that's my question to you. That is something that I posit. Like, why exactly are you playing this game if you're not interested in playing tennis?